Welcome to the Terracotta Webcast series. In this webcast, we'll be discussing at least 5, maybe more, reasons to upgrade Ehcache to BigMemory Go. I'm Orion Latizzi, one of the co-founders of Terracotta, and today I'm joined by Eric Mizell, Terracotta's Director of Field Engineering. Hi, Eric.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. Eric and I will run through the presentation in about 20 minutes, and then we'll take questions. If you have a question, please just type it into the questions window or the chat window at any time, and we'll do our best to answer it. So the first reason for moving to BigMemory Go, especially from Ehcache, is that real-time big data applications are finally possible. And that there's an intersection between the abundance of RAM now available on commodity servers due to the steep drop in the price of RAM, and the amount of data that is the exponentially growing amount of data that confronts applications that they need to deal with on an ongoing basis. Now, one of the best ways to take advantage of all of this data and actually make critical business decisions based on it is to put it in memory. As the New York Times says, memory is the new disk. The obvious thing to do is to exploit that technology. And with BigMemory Go, we give you, you get the opportunity to store big amounts of data in machine memory for ultra-fast access. That's and by big we mean hundreds of gigabytes to terabytes, and it snaps into enterprise applications and easily scales up on a single JVM. Eric, do you want to add some commentary in here?
Sure. So what does that mean? I mean, these are great things that you can do, but practically everyone wants to know, what does that really mean to me? So, you know, when you bring data right into your application, that means microsecond access. So we're taking latency away from an application. So you can do more with less, right? I don't need to have hundreds of servers. Now I can do it on a few servers. Data really close to my app, microsecond access to it, makes my app move really, really fast.
Cool. So on to reason 2. BigMemory Go includes Ehcache and eliminates garbage collection pauses and tuning. So Java has this Achilles heel regarding memory, and it's around garbage collection. In a typical Java application, when you need to use a lot of data, your JVM heap size has a practical upper limit of somewhere between 2 to 4 gigabytes. After which, tuning the garbage collection to keep pauses down, to keep application performance killing pauses down, becomes either very, very laborious, time-consuming and expensive, or just outright impossible. And so you're stuck with your standard Java application. You're stuck with two not very attractive choices. One is to not use all of the memory available on commodity hardware, or to slice up that memory across many JVMs and deploy with a complicated footprint on your server. Now with BigMemory, that situation is completely changed, and especially if you're already using Ehcache. With BigMemory, with a couple of lines of config, you can take advantage of all of the memory on a single server in a single JVM and incur no garbage collection pauses and not have to tune it. Because we keep it in process, but so it's actually in memory, available at microsecond speed, but it's not on the Java heap, so it's invisible to the garbage collector.
So a couple interesting use cases that add a little color to this is we actually had a smart meter company that had 64 gig heap, which you can do with 64-bit JDK, right? So we've got 64 big heap, and what was happening is they were processing data, they would run into a 1-minute pause every so often, which doesn't work with SLAs. So we plugged in BigMemory for them, BigMemory Go, and they were able to dropped the pauses down to less than a second and met their SLAs and exceeded their SLAs with little to no code at all. So very simple snap-in. Another interesting case is customers that come to us with 900 JVMs, right? The whole concept, right? Let me slice it up into lots of JVMs because horizontal is the way to go. We've actually been able to take that down to less than 200 JVMs and actually go bigger, right? Let's go vertical versus going horizontal. So a couple interesting use cases that can save your operations money and management, as well as saving you GC pauses around applications.
Cool. So now on to reason 3. BigMemory Go uses the same technology as BigMemory Max. Now, BigMemory has been around for a while. It's our most successful product. It's our flagship product because it solves some very critical business problems for our customers. And as an Ehcache user, we now offer this BigMemory Go product, which gives you many of the same enterprise critical features, capabilities that you get with BigMemory Max, but all for a standalone JVM. It makes your app's data instantly available. It comes with the Terracotta Management Console, which is one of our enterprise features. It comes with the Search API. It comes with the automatic resource control, which lets you allocate memory to certain data sets and keep it in, make sure that each data set is kept in the right tier, whether on heap, in the off-heap store, or on disk. And then it uses the Ehcache interface that if you're an Ehcache user, you're familiar with. It's the de facto Java caching API, and it comes with a backing store so that you can get fast restart and you have disk backup for the in-memory data. And reason 4. BigMemory gives you predictably low latency at scale. Now, this is one of the most important capabilities of BigMemory. As we talked about, as Eric mentioned before, the real killer for Java apps that use a lot of data is garbage collection pauses. Because when the garbage collector starts a stop the world pause, your application is essentially offline, and you don't know how long it's going to take. It's very difficult to meet tight SLAs, and it's just a bad end customer experience. So with BigMemory Go, because we get rid of all the garbage collection pauses, and there's no large tuning effort, you get fast access to very large amounts of data. That's microsecond access to terabytes of data if you need it. And the latency is completely predictable with no unexpected garbage collection pauses. Eric, do you want to weigh in here?
Sure. The great part about all this is when I talk to customers and people out there that are doing this and using this is, you look at your SLA and you say, I want to have this response, so it's 100 milliseconds is my SLA for responses. And I ask them, is that 100% of the time? Is it 90% of the time? Is it 80% of the time? And those are factors, right? They're very important when we think about SLAs. Well, if I get predictable throughput, I eliminate the GC that, like I mentioned before, minute GC pauses. I've seen customers with 20-second GC pauses. SLAs go out the window during that time period, right? So how do I achieve as close to 100% of my SLA? I have to eliminate the obvious, which is GC, and that's exactly what we do, and give you that predictable latency, which is what we're craving.
Thanks, Eric. Reason 5 in the list of top 5 reasons, BigMemory Go uses the same API that you're familiar with as an Ehcache user. Simple get-put API to a key value store, plus you get a powerful search, in-memory search capabilities as well. I mean, if you're interested in the search API, or you want to learn more about how the interface works, terracotta.org has a full set of documentation on Ehcache and BigMemory, so go ahead and check that out to see how the API works. So the bonus reason number one, BigMemory Go's Terracotta Management Console gives you visibility and control of in-memory data. Now, one of the great things about data in memory is that it's very, very fast, but it's also transient. And what you need in an enterprise application, if you're going to rely on using large amounts of memory, is visibility, control, and reliability of that data in memory. The Terracotta Management Console gives you all of those things. What you're seeing here is a view onto how much memory is being used on a per data set basis. So you can say, I want my catalog. Say you have a web store, you can say, I want my catalog data to take up 50% of my off-heap memory, or you can specify it in actual absolute numbers, 10 gigabytes, say, or 100 gigabytes, and then BigMemory will manage that data set's presence in memory or on heap or on disk automatically for you. It's something that's a revolutionary shift in how data sets in memory can be managed, where if you're familiar with tuning Ehcache, one of the ways that you manage your cache sizes is by the number of elements. Well, with the Terracotta Management Console, we give you the option to actually specify absolute or percentage numbers rather than just the guessing at how many entries in the cache will fill up memory. And Eric, I'm sure that you end up using this in the field a lot to help customers get the most out of their installations.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of value to visibility, right? So we talk about predictability, how much heap am I using, how simple it is to set up, key values in getting to where you want to go. Another key value with this console, I ask a lot of customers, how many times or how often do you profile your database to see how efficient your application is? Because we know when we go from page to page, screen to screen, or even on the same screen, things can get called multiple times. And with this tool now, I have visibility. I don't have to go to my DB and ask them. I turn it on. I can see what's going on. I can see exactly what a function's doing. And I can tell you I've seen instances with customers where they called the same value out of the cache 100 times in one function. So not only are we getting it fast, but now we're giving you an ability to be more efficient about your code within a process too.
So now the double bonus reason, if you're an Ehcache user already, you can get going with BigMemory Go, so to speak, in as little as 2 lines of config. And basically you add a jar file and you modify your ehcache.xml a little bit to say, you know, either on a cache manager basis or on a per cache basis, how much off-heap memory, how much heap memory you want, and you're done. That's there's one other thing which you have to modify. The startup script, your Java command needs one extra flag, but it's really very, very simple to get up and running with BigMemory Go, and you don't have to change any of your code. All of your code will work exactly the same, and then you can use the Terracotta Management Console behind the scenes to allocate memory as you see fit.
So yeah, we've actually, just Orion real quickly, we've actually taken customers from standalone Ehcache that they've been using for years to BigMemory Go in less than an hour, and they've seen
that's awesome. So, you know, anyone listening to this, if you haven't tried it already, you should really go to terracotta.org, download it, and try it out for yourself, because it's very, very simple and easy to use. So the triple bonus reason, not only is it simple and easy to use, but it's also free for the first 32 gigabytes of in-memory data. You can download today BigMemory Go, install it, run it in production for using up to 32 gigs of in-process memory for your application for completely free, and you don't have to talk to us. Just go download it, install it, deploy it, and you're good to go. So we definitely encourage you to try it out because it's a big opportunity. I think it's a big opportunity for any Ehcache user to drastically improve their performance and increase the amount of data that they can fit into their application without causing big garbage collection process. So the question is, what could you do with instant access to all of your data? We have a lot of success stories that we're very proud of. Since Eric is on the ground every day, I'm going to let Eric kind of provide some color about how people are actually using this to transform their business.
Sure. So fraud detection is one of the hot topics. Credit card companies that used to take days and then they reduced it to hours, we reduced it to seconds. So every time you swipe your card, fraud detection is happening in line. I don't know if you've ever had it happen. I've had it happen to myself where you swipe the card and they're calling you as you're signing. That's an enormous savings, millions and millions of dollars for the credit card company. Online payment companies as well. That's a little harder to detect because payments are coming from everywhere. So not only are they doing fraud detection, but they're doing pattern matching real time, in memory. There's no other way to do that, right? Databases can't do that. Doing it in line, in process, in memory. So, and then of course e-commerce, right? Everything it has to be high speed for customers, or if it's not fast enough, they're going somewhere else. So e-commerce, inventory control, inventory tracking, etc. All of these things handled in real time change the game. Very innovative.
Now that we've gone through the presentation, we have a few questions that people have been asking. One of the questions is, we use Ehcache and Terracotta and are planning to use BigMemory on the client. I'm wondering how data that's stored in BigMemory on the client is clustered using Terracotta. Let me hand that over to Eric. He's the most familiar with the details of the client-server relationship.
Sure. So you already hit on the key value of BigMemory, right? I can store more on my client, but if I'm distributing, today when you distribute with Terracotta, you have all the data in Terracotta all the time. So that's your clustering technology. So if I'm using BigMemory in my application, that data will also be in the array. So we'll put BigMemory down there too. So for example, if you wanted 4 gigs across your clients, we would take an aggregate total of all your clients and add that up and go, okay, that's how much you would need in your Terracotta server array.
And so that segues well to this other question, which is that's been asked, is how does BigMemory retain data in the event of a server issue, either maintenance or some kind of power problem? And the answer is, for BigMemory Max, there's the server array that's attached to that all the clients attach to, and it's disk-backed, highly fault tolerant, when we achieve 5 nines uptime with that product. But BigMemory Go is designed also for critical enterprise applications, and it has a fast disk backing store, so that everything you put into BigMemory is also backed by disks. So if the server goes down, or if you need to do some maintenance on it, if you need to restart the JVM, you don't have to reload the data from an external data source. Or in the case of using BigMemory as a system of record, you're guaranteed to keep it. It's guaranteed to be safely written to disks and start up quickly in the event of a server restart. Another question is, can we use BigMemory along with web sessions? Eric, I'll let you field that one.
Sure, and you can. You can use it along with web sessions at the Terracotta level. We are currently working on it, making it available at both application and Terracotta level, which gives you even the ability to have more sessions and offloading at the application layer. But currently today, it will work with Terracotta BigMemory at the array level when you cluster.
One of the questions, does BigMemory work with a 32-bit JDK, or do you need the 64-bit?
So BigMemory will work with a 32-bit JDK, but up to the 4 gig max, or 4 gig max, which is what a 32-bit JDK gives you. So 64-bit JDK allows you to go as big as the RAM that's on the box.
So that's what you want to take full advantage of the tens to hundreds of gigabytes currently available on commodity hardware these days. Another question is, how does BigMemory compare to the Java heap? Is it faster than the Java heap?
So if you were to try to compare heap to off heap or to big memory, heap is faster only when you have smaller data sets. So if I had a 2 gig heap to 2 gigs of big memory, the heap would appear faster. But when you get to larger data sets where GC pauses become the problem, then BigMemory Go is going to be, that's where it's going to shine. So when you get larger, there's no way to compete with BigMemory Go because we bypass the GC completely, and you get predictable throughput, which gives you faster responses.
And then what if I want to use more than 32 gigs of big memory? Now, the answer to that is really you get 32 gigs for free, and that's a free production license. If you need more than that, it's a simple process to purchase more. Just contact us, go to terracotta.org and contact our sales folks, and they'll get you up and running with a license to use as much as you want. So that's about all the time we have for questions today. If we didn't get to your question, or if you'd like to follow up with us, feel free to post on the Big Memory Forum, which you can find at forums.terracotta.org, or just tweet with the hashtag BigMemory. And in case you missed portions of this webcast, the recording of the entire event will be at terracotta.org and ehcache.org shortly. And we'll send out an email to everyone when it's up and available. Thank you all for your interest and all the great questions, and we look forward to hearing from you about all the cool things you're doing with BigMemory.